At this time, we're going to go to citizens participation, and we do have 2 people that want to speak tonight. Are there more than 2? Does anybody else want to speak? Just the 2. Lexington County School District 1's Board of Trustees solicits the advice and counsel of its citizens. To encourage this participation, the board provides a citizens participation period during each of its regular monthly board meetings. In order to speak, you must be the parent, legal guardian of a student currently attending a Lexington District 1 school, a taxpayer residing in the Lexington District 1 attendance area, an employee of the district, or a student currently attending a Lexington District 1 school. You may comment on agenda items, school operations, policies, programs, or other matters. You may not speak about specific individuals, whether students or staff. We have other means for you to communicate that information to us. We want to remind you that this meeting is being live streamed and that the recording of this meeting will be part of the public record in perpetuity. We want to give everyone who came tonight an opportunity to speak, and in order to do that, the board chair will call on each speaker by name and ask you to approach the lectern at the back of the room. The board will not reply to your comments nor take any action during the board meeting in response to your comments or questions. You may address the board for up to 3 minutes. Please do not clap or make any comments, either while an individual speaks or after he or she finishes. Excuse me. As you came in tonight, you received a card to fill out if you indicated you wanted to speak. That card asks for your name, address, and other information. However, we will read out only your name, the town you reside in, and the name of the schools your children attend when it is your turn to speak. It's got a frog in my throat. If you did not fill out a card but wish to speak, please hold up your hand. Is there anybody extra? Mary Beth? Okay, let me take a sip of water. Anyone who is uncomfortable addressing the board in person, we encourage you to reach out to the board by email, telephone, or mail, or we will even meet with you in person. Our contact information is available on the Lexington One website, and we do welcome all messages. At this time, I'm going to call on Lauren Pellington. She's going to discuss face-to-face and Lula. She lives in Lexington, and she has 2 children at Pleasant Hill Elementary School. Ms. Pellington?
All right. Good evening, board. I am a special ed teacher and a proud teacher of CC3 students. For those of you who don't know what this category is, this level of students is for the medical and disability sake that needs the most hands-on care to survive everyday curricular needs as well as maintain their medical needs. I taught special education for 10 years. This is going into my 4th year here in Lexington 1. While I have become more in tune with the board meetings over the past year, I would be remiss if I did not yet again speak tonight. I wanted to come tonight to let you know, for the record, it was shared at last meeting that no teachers at the elementary level were working both face-to-face and Lula. Then it was shared on a teacher's Facebook group that it was corrected only related arts teachers were doing both. Well, in fact, a large number of special ed teachers are doing both and working the double shift. I'm not here to say more or better than any other teacher in the district because we are all working our tails off. What I do mean is that I'm very upset to hear that we are not properly accounted for when it was reported last meeting that some of us are indeed working both face-to-face and Lula. In fact, not just related arts, it's Eagles, Resource, RTI, CC1, 2, and 3, as well as ESOL. I'm so appreciative of the special services team and their ability to make things flow the way they have. District special services staff have worked overtime in making sure that their teachers are appreciated and pull all of us together. My school's special education staff and administration have been so supportive of one another. But what does a special education teacher doing both face-to-face and Lula look like? Well, for me, it's my own crazy chaos. While I would love to have just videos available for my students to watch that are the lessons that I've made, and recordings uploaded, as well as materials, allowing them to complete their work, CC3 students are practically all hands-on to include their IEP goals. I would feel guilty if I did not get to Zoom live with them as I get to see my face-to-face students. Today alone, I had my instructional assistants working on goals with face-to-face students while I worked online doing the same thing with the virtual kids. I make sure the virtual students have the same access to materials as best I can, which means I am up late creating or spending my Fridays doing PD while multitasking and creating these manipulatives. Yes, there may be another way to get to my students virtually and face-to-face, but my instruction is individualized, that's the key word, to their needs. So while I'm face-to-face instructing with my students in the classroom, the virtual students are chiming in as well. As soon as the Zoom is recorded, it's uploaded and available to those who are choosing to do everything asynchronous. By the end of the day, each student has access to the lessons to review online on the Google Drive. I love my children, I love my job, I do love the district, but please know that I want to feel as though statistically we do count. We are doing two jobs. Yes, we are making it work. We do it for our kids because together we are Speducators strong. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Pellington, and we want to thank you for all you do every day. Okay, I'm going to call up Miss Ginger Gary. Ginger lives in West Columbia, and she has children in the 7th grade and 12th grade at White Knoll Middle and White Knoll High, and she wants to discuss 5-day face-to-face education. Miss Gary?
First of all, I'm not a public speaker.
Okay.
I get emotional, and when it comes to my kids, I get even more emotional. But first of all, let me thank you for letting me speak. I have 2 children that go to White Knoll schools. One is a senior, and one is a 7th grader. My senior is not having, I can't see, I'm sorry. My senior is not having the issues or the difficulty with the virtual as my 7th grader is, because he only has 3 classes. However, my son, which has been a straight A student his whole life, is having difficulty with the aspect of the learning process because he does not have the teachers that have made him the student that he is to bounce his questions and answers off of in a timely fashion. I personally went over one of his textbooks last night, and the teachings are not in the book. It's algebra. I made A's and B's in algebra in high school. That was 25 years ago. I was trying to help him, and I could not. I felt extremely inadequate, as does he, when I look at him and I tell him, I don't know how to do this. Thankfully, a friend on Facebook was able to help me get through it. Something needs to give, and my student does not need to feel like he is going to fail or that he feels inadequate. Another topic I want to discuss is the confusing aspect of the multiple teaching platforms that are being used. Google Classroom, Schoology. I know PowerSchool is just a reporting program, but there are multiple platforms that I don't even know all of them, but something needs to be generalized in that aspect because we can't keep logging in to these different platforms and being able to properly and effectively turn in our children's or check that our children have turned in their work. Because if they don't turn in their work, they're marked unexcused. So my husband and I, have been fortunate to be able to continue to work during this time, but many parents don't have the luxury of having students old enough and trustworthy enough to be able to leave them at home alone. I know letters have been sent to the district office from pediatricians around the county, and I know that they are demanding and they're urging you guys to get back to a normal 5-day work week because the mental health of the patients that they see have increased dramatically, and that is not good. We as humans are not meant to be isolated. We are meant to be out and to be social. That is what our children need, and our children need to be 5 days a week, face-to-face with the teachers that have made them the students that they are today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Gary. We appreciate that. And would you be okay if I had someone contact you tomorrow just to kind of walk through some of your questions to see if we can answer? Because I do think there are some answers for a few of your questions, if that's okay. So I'm going to ask Dr. Little if maybe Dr. Talley could call her or somebody like that. So thank you. Thank you, Ms. Pellington. Okay. At this point, do I hear a motion to enter into executive session for the purpose of discussing the superintendent's evaluation?
Madam Chair, I move that the board enter into executive session to discuss the superintendent's 2019-2020 evaluation.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Green. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Dr. Powers. Are there any questions or comments, board? Okay, hearing none, we'll take a vote. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries, and it is unanimous, and we will step into the conference room, and we'll probably be out in about 2.5 hours. So thank you. Thank y'all for coming.